Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, a Spotlight podcast. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
Okay, as the world opens back up on the heels of the coronavirus pandemic, social activities are finally starting to resume. We've got concerts, we've got festivals, we've got travel, all returning very swiftly. So here to discuss a great annual event that had to hit pause and kind of go hybrid are really a faction of the brains and the guts of the Capital City Film Festival. We've got Gnass, Nicole Szymczak, and Payal Ravani. Thank you for joining me here today.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. All right, I rattled through those names nicely, and we are off to the races. So the Capital City Film Festival, how long has this operation been live?
Well, the operation's been live for probably like 11 or so years. It's been a thought for probably about a good dozen years. And so what started just as many things do in this town is with a dream and a thought and a couple great people who are willing to kind of put some time and sweat behind it. Right
on. So more than a decade. And I got to believe that recent iterations of the film festival were different than maybe year one or year two, right? It's got to have changed and morphed based on needs and crowds and stuff. Talk a little bit about how much it's evolved.
Yeah, it has absolutely evolved since we first started here in 2011. Every year it's gotten bigger. It's grown. Even though we're 10 years in, people are still learning about this.
Right.
And so we're really excited, and we've learned a lot too as a group. This is kind of an all volunteer shop, and so it's definitely a lot of, like you said, blood, sweat, and tears that are being put into this. But what started as an idea is really just grown, and I think each year when more people come onto it, they come on with some new, fresh ideas, and we see the opportunities here in Lansing and what to do with that. I mean, the problem, which is going to be solved hopefully soon, is that there was really no theater in Lansing.
Right.
And so the cool thing with me is that we could turn, whether it was a local business or an old church or someone had a building for use, and we have an amazing production crew, I think the best across the whole state, that can really turn any space into an amazing experience, an amazing venue. And that's just gotten better and bigger, I think, through the years. And so we will soon have our own space here in the next couple of years or so. But it's really shown how much film means to this community, and how it's as much of the art community as any of the festivals or art fairs are as well, too. Just the celebration of cinema and music and more.
Right on. Okay. So the movies that are shown, kind of, where do they come from? I mean, are they locally done? Are they nationally, internationally done?
Yes. For the last few years, we've had at least over 500 submissions from, I think, 50 plus different countries. And sometimes we subtitle them, sometimes they're, English speaking, but produced internationally.
Right.
Sometimes they're literally, like this year, Luke from Retro Duck submitted a film, and he's literally just a couple blocks away, and he put a nice film in that we're going to be screening as well. So we've had local to far away. We have a lot of stories of people connecting and meeting at the festival. One of our filmmakers was from this area, had been living in LA years ago, came out to a visit. Payal met him. They're now married.
Wow,
so there's been a lot of relationships had over the years too, from these people, these creators that put stuff into our, here Mid-Michigan community. But we are really a festival for people for all over the state and the region. I think a couple of years ago, I was working at a front desk. This couple people checked in. They were from Baltimore. They had seen a film listed that they wanted to see. They saw that we were the closest. They drove up from Baltimore to Mid-Michigan here to be part of the Lansing community just for the weekend, and just were loving every bit of what we were offering here. So people literally come from all over.
That's unbelievable. So now you said earlier that you had 500 or so submissions of films. So how does that even happen? So you just announce that you are now open for business, and how many movies happen in a walk me through all of this. This is crazy.
So we use a platform to solicit a call for entries from around the world. So it's a platform that a lot of filmmakers around the world use. It's kind of the industry standard and best. And so we're able to reach a wide range of artists through that avenue. And so we get submissions through there. And from there, we have a really wide selection committee. So every film that gets submitted is watched and rated by at least 3 or 4 selection committee members. And then we have a team of curators that sort of take all of the comments and feedback and scores and then curate the final lineup. And that, I'd say that makes up about 75 to 80% of our film lineup. And then the other piece of that puzzle is we work with distributors to secure films that may have just shown at South by Southwest or Sundance and haven't been distributed or released yet. And so we're able to get sort of a different caliber of films that are still in that independent category and bring them to Michigan for the first time.
Okay, so you say independent category. Do they have to be independent movies? Or I don't know what that definition is.
Say that's a hard and fast rule. I mean, we've certainly shown films that were, Hollywood bigger budgets, but as a general guidepost, that's we're showing films that otherwise wouldn't have a platform to be seen.
So a
widely.
team of people watch all 500 of these submissions and make comments and notes and all that stuff, and then then they sift through all that, and you figure out, now, how many will you take out of, say, 500?
Generally, we're accepting between 8 and 10% of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So 40 to 50.
Yeah. And then another
in my head.
really cool piece of the film puzzle, and I want to mention it here because of what your podcast focuses, is we run the largest film contest in Michigan.
Oh.
It's called the Fortnite Film Contest, and it's only open to Michigan filmmakers. So they have 2 weeks to create a short film that has certain elements in it, and the elements are only for us to know for sure that they made it within that time frame. So, for example, like a pen or a notepad, like something really benign has to be included in their film. And they have 2 weeks to make it. And then we have a really fun event during the festival where we screen the top entries and give away $5,000 in cash prizes.
Is that right? And is that part of the film festival?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's Fortnite Film Contest, and they kick off, all the team comes together, they kick off usually on a Thursday night at whatever time, and then they have to have it physically in hand 14 days exactly to the hour back in, and that's when they learn those elements, and then they're off creating film around the state. It's a really fun, really fun thing to see.
Scrap Fest for film.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It's a great event.
Yeah, we had a few teams reach out saying like, oh my gosh, we're so grateful that you're running the contest again. Like, we needed this creative outlet, so thank you,
And it's kind of an evolution too, because my co-founders are Dominic Cochran and Jason Gabriel, and we met on the set of what's called a 48.5, and that's you make a film in 2 days. And there's another film festival in town that we've done several of these for, and we just loved it. It was a whole weekend. You're dedicating, and you come together, and you're meeting all these different people, having that creative outlet, up all night long, and then submitting something on Sunday. And so we always really enjoyed that. And so that's what inspired, some of my careers in film. And I know that was a great outlet for Dom and Jason, who are also professionals in the area who work in film. So it was just a fun thing to get together. And I think that's where we met a lot of the like-minded crew that said, Lansing really needs to have a bigger contest, and also why not have a bigger festival that's all encompassing of film and music and multimedia?
Yeah, and the 2 week time frame is to give teams and these filmmakers a chance at having a finished product that they feel a little more proud of. 48 hours is not that much time to put together film. So we have had teams go on to make longer films together, or teams combine forces and create, a film the following year and start production companies in town. So it's been cool to see sort of like the effect of having the contest. So
the contest itself, you say, is part of the festival.
Yeah.
So is that a certain night? Or how many will be shown?
Yeah, the contest is already over. So it ended this past Thursday. And this last weekend, I'm sorry, time frame, but
that's okay.
All the entries were judged by a wide panel of judges, and the top entries, I think we're going to show the top 10, are going to show on Sunday, April 10th at the Lansing Public Media Center. And then that's where we'll announce the winners and do an audience choice award as well.
Every year we have an event on Sunday at noon, and it's either the first or second weekend, however we put it together. But it's a party, and these filmmakers come, their friends and family come. I've called it laying room only, because where we do it, sometimes the only space beyond standing is just kind of laying down in front of the screen, in front of the chairs, and it's a packed house. One of the contests we do is the audience choice, and so we do like a decibel meter, sound for noise.
Okay.
It's just
we're not going to do that this
not
year.
this year. Yeah.
We don't want to encourage people to like spit on each other.
Yeah, that's true. But so every year it changes for something, but it's literally one of our most popular events, and it's just so fun to see the creativity, just the range, of creativity. It's just like any kind of art. It's one of the beautiful things about this festival is it is part of the arts and culture scene, and
exactly,
definitely a very big piece of art.
So for those who are not now that are intrigued by this concept of a film festival but never have experienced it, they're daunted at this point. They're saying, okay, there's going to be 50 plus movies that are going to be shown in a finite period of time. How does this work? So is there a schedule? I mean, how do you sign up for, like, do you get one pass that gets you into anything you want to go to, or do you buy individual tickets for certain showings of certain movies?
So both. So the schedule is live on our website, ccff.co.
Okay.
And
ccff.co. Perfect.
So we have our film lineup. We have concerts several nights throughout the festival over at the Avenue, and we have a few special events too that we're able to bring back this year. It is a little bit scaled down from previous iterations of the festival, simply because we were a little, we were trying to be mindful of what the public health status might be at this time. But we are able to put on some special events like the red carpet premiere party. We have a really great event where we have live musicians performing score to silent film on the screen. That's a really great event. And we actually do that event for free. It's free to the public.
Symphonic cinema is what we call that.
Okay.
And then we also have a live comedy event. Comedians in town, they're called Quality Scary. They're going to be riffing on Return of the Living Dead. So that's a really fun one. So yeah, a festival pass is $50, gets you into everything.
Okay.
And otherwise, individual films, like if you just want to drop in and see one or two, $5 a piece, and same with the concerts.
Got it.
A couple anomalies there, the red carpet party and the closing night film, but otherwise $5.
Okay. And are you likely to get maybe shut out of if I show up?
Probably not.
Once in a while. Yeah.
Can happen.
Not never.
Not.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's awesome too about a festival, and I've been to them in other communities. I was in in Marquette in October, or we've been to the ones in Saugatuck, or we've all been to festivals, and it's what the nice thing about it is when people hear film festival, they think, I'm not into independent films. But I think what they miss when they have that preconceived notion is they don't recognize the opportunity to just see some shorts. You're not necessarily walking into a theater stuck watching some really long, boring narrative film. We've seen some of these films that we can't believe they're not on the big screen, in their independent films that are full narratives. But you can go to a block of shorts that are funny, or a block of shorts that are scary, or so many different kinds of films happen in our festival. And I think that's one of the things that makes us unique, is that we offer kind of an experience that you show up. If you just want to spend a day, you'll have a selection of things to come participate in and see. And that's the beauty of what we do, is that you show up for a couple days and just kind of pick your path.
Yeah, and I'd say, we have had films sell out before, but now with, 10 years under our belt, we have a pretty good sense of what might sell out. And if that's the case, we generally do pre-sale tickets for it. So we don't anticipate that happening except for this year's closing night film.
And Nicole, you mentioned earlier on the uniqueness of the venues because we don't have a theater downtown. Mm-hmm. Is it normal that film festivals are housed in a movie theater place where, maybe they have 3 or 4 or 5 screens and people just bounce around from in one building? And if so, then how do you guys do it here in Lansing?
Oh, we do it. I think we do it really differently. And I've also been a part and have helped with the Traverse City Film Festival. And so those are actual screens that are actually set up in cinematic quality. And so are ours, except they just don't happen to be in cinemas. So this year we're using the Lansing Public Media Center as kind of a home base, which is a huge, we call it the drill hall. It's just this huge, area.
10,000 square foot.
10,000 square foot open. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it's the screen takes up a whole wall.
That's the whole laying room only. You literally
can
sit on the floor. It's just massive.
Where is it?
And then
South Washington, just south of Rio Town.
South of Rio Town.
It's on the south end of Rio Town. Yeah, just south of Mount Hope.
Yeah, and our other venue is the Fletch. So we're so thrilled to be back there. And
that's an old church, no?
Yes,
it is. Yeah, and it's a really stunning setup because we actually hang the screen instead of put it on the ground.
Okay.
So it's just a different dynamic, and it's really beautiful in there when we set it all up.
And then Ellison Brewery, which has yet to open in Rio Town, we're actually going to be one of the first events that are going to be in there for the red carpet premiere party. So it's a bit dated, but it's a really great.
We've taken pride over the years, I think, in activating or participating in buildings that have yet to come to life. And so we were one of the events in the Temple building before that kind of got shut down, and then kind of became something, or the Knapp Center when that got sat dormant for so long. We put stuff in there, and so we love finding places that allow us to go in. Like we talked about earlier, our production crew is unbelievable. You come into these experiences, and I think we were named one of the top 25 coolest film festivals in the world by Movie Maker magazine, and that's an anonymous thing. We don't submit to that. Somebody just declared us, and they figured it out through comments, and they showed up. And one of the things they communicated, or that we heard, that the fact that we were holding films in a hot tub warehouse space, and that it felt like such an immersive, real, engaging experience. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about this team that we have, is they're just so incredible at making every little detail, all of the touches feel like it's considered and taken care of, and that you're participating in this really cool experience together.
Right. Right.
And you can enjoy the city and see different parts of the city. Yeah. The media center is right almost just in Rio Town, and people might drive by it and not even know.
Right.
And same thing with Ellison. I didn't even know Ellison was there until the first. I'm like, oh yeah, right across the board, Water and Light.
Right.
I didn't even know that was the building. So I think it's just great to get people to do that. And also, people might even consider reinvesting in those spaces.
Right on. Okay, so I'm going to super timestamp this, right? So today is April 5th, right? And it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so we're going to kind of hot rod this podcast and make it live quickly. Everything you've heard, this is an annual event. Is it usually in April?
Yeah, it's second to third weekend-ish.
Right.
And it has been for the last, since we started, really.
Yeah.
But we scheduled this strategically because this is happening like right about now. So talk to us a little bit about the timeline of this particular film fest. When do you guys start? When's the red carpet kick off?
We're doing something a little different this year. So the first day of our festival, our opening night film, is going to be on Thursday, April 7th. And our red carpet party is actually going to be the second day of the festival.
Okay.
Which is Friday, April 8th. So starting on the 7th, come out and see some films. Concerts running all weekend.
So it's a Thursday to Sunday?
To the following Sunday.
To the following
Saturday night. So the 7th through the 16th.
7th through the
10
16th.
days.
Yep.
Got it. No joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first year we were 4 days, then we went to 5, and then
first
4.
couple of years we were 4, and then we grew to 5. And then in 2019, we actually took the leap, and all this feedback we received from our attendees, and the fact that we were just being inundated with films that we really wanted to accept, but we didn't have space for, all these factors combined, we decided to expand from 2018 to 2019. We went from 5 to 11 days. And I'm so glad we did. And, it was challenging because we had so much momentum going into our 10th
twice the time period, but quadruple the work.
Right.
Sometimes we were in 4 venues at the same time.
Yeah, and
we just don't have enough humans.
We were reaching a point where we were competing with our own audience. We were putting films that at the same time that could potentially draw similar audiences. And so we decided, it was very calculated to move to a longer format. And, again, we had so much momentum going into 2020, but we had to postpone that. And here we are finally again.
Yes. Right. So, and not to belabor, well, let's talk about the pandemic then for a sec. So 2020, April of 2020, I got to believe nothing happened.
We were less than 30 days out.
That was crushing. That was
so
crushing, and we all saw it coming. We all did. Everyone
did. You mean
did.
you start working on this more than 30 days in advance?
Usually.
Well, when I saw Coachella cancel, I'm like, that's not going to be us. We're so small comparatively,
Right.
And then, within 24 hours, what felt like the whole world kind of shut down. So
no doubt. So you did a whole ton of work for 2020, and then that just got completely shelved, right?
Well, we initially postponed it, right? Everyone was like, "Oh, this will be over in a few months."
Right,
so we're like, "We'll do it this summer," and then summer came around, and then fall came around, and winter came around, and so
we did a drive-in style, like fall outdoor thing
in late 2020, and then again in 2021. Similar situation happened. We had planned on an April festival, and it just didn't happen, and so and again, it was even challenging with this one. We weren't sure how to move forward. When the Omicron variant hit over the winter, but luckily we were able to kind of pull through that.
I will say steam ahead, right?
And even though our festival hasn't started yet, our volunteers activation is a good indicator, and we are more filled volunteer-wise at this point than we typically are. We still have some spaces, and like we had a volunteer pickup yesterday. people coming in from Grand Rapids. So people in this community and from far away come to participate, volunteer. And we've seen this energy, right? So we know people are, it's pent up. It's not a secret, right? People are ready to be back. And so we're excited for what these 10 days are going to bring us. We still have some volunteer slots. So on our website, you can still sign up to volunteer and go actually pick your shift. And would you volunteer a shift, a 4-hour shift, you get a full festival pass to after, for participating with us. But we're excited about that. And I think Nicole said it earlier, we're a volunteer-led organization. Like this is not our full-time job. So, I own a creative agency. Nicole works at a major university. Payal works for Disney. Like we have all these bigger jobs in other places. And this is something we come together to put on for the community as a placemaking thing and as a thing that we love doing in our spare time to have fun together, and let's just make it a party for the community.
I think people really have invested in Lansing. We've all seen it grow over the past 10 years, both as professionals ourselves and also kind of seeing this. I mean, heck, thank God we opened up because Payal had to fly back from LA because she lives in LA, but she comes here to do this and is still so invested in that. And to me, that's something that's really special. And yes, I'm gonna push on the volunteer, and I'm just gonna push on trying to get our community supporters and our corporate supporters out there, because I'm not sure people quite realize the people that are coming into our community are kind of from everywhere, and so they're getting to really be exposed to Lansing. Some of them for the first time. Definitely when we were at our peak and we had our 10-day festival. And so I think it's a great way to expose people to Lansing, and also to include this in some amazing placemaking.
And some of these volunteers that showed up yesterday, the energy or the joy that they had about participating to put something cool on. Oh, I've told all my friends I signed up for this. And, the one had her friend, the guy drove her there, and he signed up on the spot. He's like, I didn't realize it was this big or this cool. And so he literally took a volunteer spot, like from his phone, right there to get his pass, to be a part of it. And I think that's the other thing about these community partnerships. This isn't just about advertising with us. It's about taking it back to your business and showing your employees that you're helping put this event on and a part of it, and something for them to do, this whole Alive After 5 goofiness. Like this is real. This is the kind of thing that makes a community desirable for employees to stick around or to attract employees here. Because it is such a part of a thing that makes Lansing and Greater Lansing so much bigger.
And we know this community. I think that's the great thing about working in it for 10 years and building this as well, too. So I think we understand what this community needs and wants, and we understand who our audience is and how to serve an amazing experience. So we're excited for this year. Wonderful. All right. So this is happening right now, audience. We're going to really push this thing through. So ccff.co.
Or Google Capital City Film Festival, or all of the social media. All of our stuff's everywhere.
So buy tickets, sign up to volunteer, pay for a corporate sponsorship. Let's make this thing really hum. So, but Payal, Nicole, and Cam, I really appreciate you being the team that came in to share the story with us.
Thanks
Congratulations
so much.
and best of luck.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Break a leg.